So I started the year with this crazy ambitious goal to do $100,000 on a part-time basis on eBay. And I've been documenting that process along the way. In this video, I'm going to give you the update on what we've done so far this year, give you the breakdown of what's been the top categories that I've been able to sell in for this year of 2024 that generated that kind of money. And then maybe we'll throw in a couple things in there that, would be like surprise items that you didn't think would sell for a lot of money, but they do sell for a decent amount. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead, stick around. I used to be a full-time eBay seller, and I left that life to start a local brand called BC Modern. That's my vintage store. And so that's what I focused on for the last 10 years plus at this point. I've decided to get back into reselling on eBay, but I wanted to do it on a part-time basis. And I've gotten 3 years into this part-time process that I've kind of been, experimenting on myself with. That I went from 75 last year. I want to try to take this to 100,000 this year. For the month of May of 2024, we didn't put a whole bunch of time into eBay. I'll be the first one to admit it. Like, there was so much other stuff going on within our store that it was hard for me to stick time into it. It's not that I don't generate money doing it. It's just that when there's other passions that come into play. So, for my store, we got a big design job, and that's a direction I want to take my other businesses, to get more into design. So, of course, unfortunately, eBay is going to take a back seat. But for the month of May, we were still able to sell $3,384. eBay takes their cut. There's taxes, there's fees. And after all of that, we still net $2,208.54. That's, $2,000 is not going to get me, that's well below the number that I need to hit on a monthly basis to get to that $100,000 mark in 1 year on a part-time basis. I absolutely realize that. You can look at it a couple ways, right? I look at it as that's still real money. It only took me 58 items to sell that. And I did it in probably less than 10 to 12 hours. So that's not a really bad side hustle at the end of the day. And that's what I'm trying to, convey, is that this can be done, and it can be done on a part-time basis, or even if you are doing it on a full-time basis. It's just a matter of learning how to schedule your time and making sure that you're selling the right stuff. That's really kind of what it comes down to. Two things. Can you get the stuff consistently, and can you sell the stuff consistently? And for 5 months in, we're in June. I've already listed some stuff. Some stuff just came off on Monday, and I got some stuff coming off Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know when this video will go live, but Wednesday or Thursday of this week. 5 months into 2024, and I'm telling everybody, I put this stuff out there as like encouragement. Like, there's people that are doing way better numbers than this. But for myself and for my business and for my lifestyle, this actually works for me, because it's not something I'm trying to live off of. It's just strictly extra. I did about $27,000 in sales for the year so far on eBay on a part-time basis. eBay takes their cut, and that drops me down to about $18,000 and some change. But again, that's still real money, and it's I don't know. It's still real money. So I don't care how you cut it. Like that, are there people going to be doing more? Can I do more? I know I can do more. I know there's a huge potential there, but for myself, this works. And for this first 5 months of the year, I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel this feeling of like I have to consistently list. I have to be answering questions. I have to be consistently shipping packages. I don't feel that on my back. I feel that whenever I want to list, I go list. And when I list, I'm only listing for 2 or 3 hours, and that's it. I'm not committing hours and days and going on marathons and getting on live and saying, let's do listings together. Like, I'm not doing that, because I don't think that I don't think it warrants that. I just don't. And that's just my philosophy on it. But anyways, that's what I've done so far. I'm gonna give you the top 5 categories that I've sold in the last 5 months to achieve those kind of numbers right now. There really shouldn't be any surprise when it comes to some of these categories, because if you've been following along, you're going to hear me preach certain things. And my number one category is toys. I always tell everybody on any video, or anybody that's trying to get into the resale industry, one of the most consistent things, especially in the vintage world, is vintage toys, especially boys' toys. Guys are impulsive on the things that they see that they want. So keep that in mind. That was my number one category so far for the year of 2024. It's like toys break down into so many different subcategories too. So like you got Barbie, you got Lego, you got Tonka. For me, the top number one category for the year was actually toy soldiers. So little bitty lead soldiers. I sold a ton of lead soldiers this year. One of the collectible things that I like to sell is vintage lighting. Whether it's light shades, glass shades, or, lights themselves, lamps. Like I love to sell that kind of stuff. That was my number two category, which was collectibles and lighting. Our number three category for the year of 2024 was actually pottery and glassware. So vases, you got to start to pay attention to that kind of stuff, because you can hit some home runs on vintage glass, vintage pottery. You understand signatures. There's a lot of variables that go into it, don't get me wrong, but there are countless stories of people finding stuff at the Goodwill, at rummage sales, at garage sales, and they go for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So glassware, pottery, always pay attention to that kind of stuff, because you just never know. Okay, so number 4 and number 5 are both in the toy category, toys and hobbies. Again, number 4 was aircrafts. Bought one estate, and this guy had a bunch of really good models still in the boxes, and I sold them on there. I represented them as I didn't know if they were complete or not, and they did pretty decent money. So I sold a bunch of models. That was number 4. And then number 5 was actually more toys, but it was action figures again, but a different category. Like the first number 1 was toy soldiers, 1970 through now, and then my number 5 category was actually action figures under the toy and hobby category. So I know that there was a number of reasons why I didn't hit my number, and I can also see that there's a trend happening. I can see there's a trend happening where my other businesses is becoming more demanding, where I don't feel the urge to put more effort into this. So I think realistically what I should do is adjust my goal. I don't think it doesn't make sense for me to have this goal set so high that I know I'm not going to hit it. I know I'm not going to hit it at this point, and it will feel almost empty if I don't just adjust it, right? So some people could say like, oh, well, you're just lowering the bar. Like, no, I'm just being a little bit more realistic. So like what I'm gonna say is, I know that I know what time and effort I put into it this far for this year. And so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adjust my goal to like 48. No, I'm gonna adjust it to 50. I'm gonna adjust it to 50 and say, you know what? I know what I can do. I know I can do this, and I can do it at this pace. This takes this amount of time, this amount of items, this average selling price, and it doesn't interfere with what I got going on, and I can keep still building my BC Modern brand out to the level that I want to do. Now, with what I gave up with not pursuing this, I gained a design job that paid 3 times as much as this, and it furthers the brand. I have to always keep in mind that while I'm trying to pursue this as a side hustle, I have to still stay focused on what drives me as a small business, which is this is BC Modern. This is my creative space. This is why I left eBay, and so I have to always keep that in mind. But I'm no fool either, right? Like I can't leave money on the table. The key is I just have to do it on a pace that feels more sustainable, and it doesn't interfere with anything else that I have going on. That's kind of what I'm documenting along the way, and I'm taking you guys along with me. And if you got questions, if you got any comments, please feel free to drop them in the comment section, and I'll respond. And I thank you for watching the video. Until the next one.